Hey everyone, it's only Kerbal Bloody Space Program. Hi, welcome to Largely Mediocre Gaming. This is Lumper. We're here to do more science. Yay, isn't it fun? Now, this is what I've come up with because I think I promised we're going to go for the moon. That's the aim this episode, that's where we're headed to. I've saved this ship, but I'm going to show you I have 2 current failed attempts on the moon that I think is going to abort because they've gone badly. Yeah, so the Wolfenbach Mark 1 and the Stormvraus Mark 3 both made it to the moon and then sort of crash landed and could not return. We're going to fix that though, we're going to make it there, we're going to land, we're going to get some sweet science, and we're going to come all the way back. And it's going to be just glorious. This is what I've come up with. I've been testing for a couple of hours. I'm pretty sure this can viably get us to the moon. You'll notice a few things. The first is you have a crap ton of command pods on because they're the only way we have of getting reaction or torque, so I need loads of them to keep the ship stable because it's got all these boosters. That's the second thing you'll probably notice is loads of boosters because they're just by far the most powerful thing, and they're stable as well. I mean, you could probably get a lot more fuel efficiency or something by stacking loads of fuel tanks for your boosters, but it starts to wobble and it gets all crap and weird, so the only really stable thing you have are the big boosters and the little boosters. Because that's the biggest issue I've had actually with the low tier parts. It isn't that I can't do things. I have the fuel and I have like what I need to get things done, but the ships just wobble around too much and it's too like unstable. You really need the struts. That'll probably be what I unlock next. But anyway, enough about the various trials and tribulations I've had. What? Oh yeah, I don't need those command pods. But what I do want is mystery goo containers. There we go. So this ship, the premise is fairly simple. We've got our booster stages, so they're going to get us out of the thick, soupy part of the atmosphere that we don't want to be in. Then we've got down at the bottom this engine here, that's like our normal liquid fuel one. That's going to get us out of hopefully the rest of the atmosphere, or at least a lot higher up. We've got a higher stage again with another, if I take this away, another LV45 engine. That's gonna, or T, oh it's, yeah it is LVT45. That's gonna get us hopefully circularized, and then this last bit will get us to the moon, and then we're gonna eject some fuel to leave the moon. That's why it's all like staged and we've got all these things. Then we're gonna eject some more fuel and then land on Kerbin. That's the plan. But the best laid plans of mice and Kerbals gang off today. So let's go for this and see how it works. So I've had a pretty damn fun weekend. I was back in London. I've been in Scarborough, as you may know, and I was back visiting in London to visit my girlfriend and my family, which is very nice. Oh, the liquid engine seems to have decided it wants to blow up. Yeah, I have had that issue. That's happened a couple times, I'll be honest. Not entirely sure why. It shouldn't. Oh, this is working well. Don't screw up now, please. There you go. It's stable. The SAS can control this just about. I still wish it reacted faster, that really annoys me. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so, weekend, I was back down in London. Because I'd booked tickets and I wanted to visit my family and my girlfriend. And I wanted to go to Comic-Con. Oh my god, Comic-Con was awesome. So, that's the big thing. I was down in Comic-Con. And I got to play the Dark Souls 2 demo. The one that was at Tokyo Game Show. It's the one we've seen a couple times now that has like the Mirror Knight and those like statues that attack you and all sorts of cool stuff. It's the one that the Go Beyond Death advert had footage from as well. So that was really awesome. I got to play Dark Souls 2. I couldn't beat the Mirror Knight. I thought I was one of the better people there, and he was just like hard as freaking nails. I'm going to talk about that more in the next Dark Souls video, because I now have like a lot to talk about for the next game. I'm really excited for that now. Oh yeah, I was meant to fire the boosters. Distracted by my own talkativeness. So yeah, really excited about Dark Souls 2 now. I ordered like the collector's edition and everything. What else happened at Comic Con? I saw a bit of Batman, like Arkham Origins. That's shaping up to look really good. I didn't get hands on with it because we were sort of short on time by this point, but I got to see what the combat looks like. It looks just as good as it did in the other Batman Arkham games. If you haven't played them, do so immediately. You owe it to yourself. They are incredible games. Just like so good. Oh, we're doing pretty well here. This one at least consistently makes it to orbit. I've been making like ships to go to the moon all day, and I haven't even like bloody made it to orbit most of the time. It's really bad. Anyway, how much fuel you got? How much fuel you got, bitch? We got 2.5 tanks or something. That's fine. So yeah, I need to do a gravity turn. Really, shit. Once again, I forget the fucking gravity turn. Let's go like this. It's like the least efficient freaking thing ever. All the debris counts as ships as well, because I had loads of freaking command pods on it, so all the debris is now being rendered as a ship. Let's just get out of the atmosphere. So yeah, Arkham looks awesome. I saw like the boss fight of Deathstroke, or at least a fight of him. I don't know if it's the final one or anything, or even if it will be in the game, to be honest. But saw a fight of Deathstroke, and it looked really cool. It was a bit like I'm going so far off of Kerbal, I know, but I want to talk about this. So yeah, it looked a bit like the Ra's al Ghul fight from Arkham City, where you sort of keep countering each other, and there's this sense that these are like two sort of closely equal combatants almost. That was really cool to watch. What else I saw? I'm not going to talk about any Nintendo things because I'm not in a good mood with Nintendo because of all the stuff they've done with YouTube recently, and just that attitude recently has been shit. So I'm going to ignore Nintendo for a while. I need to really pitch up slightly more than that. Try and keep my apparatus away from me. Yeah, so I saw some like Mario and Zelda, but I don't want to go into that too much. Obviously, Comic-Con, there were loads of cool comic things going on. We saw, I found some new webcomics that I want to have a look at. That was a cool thing. I'm a big webcomic fan, as you might know. I mean, I'm naming all these ships after webcomic characters and shit. So, yeah, that was fun. I got like a lot of cool merch. I bought some shirts and some hats and shit, which is always nice. I also got a Dark Souls shirt for pre-ordering. You got one if you beat the Mirror Knight as well, but I didn't manage, and I'm really sad about that. This isn't going to make it because I haven't been efficient enough. That's really bad. I'm going to revert back to launch and try that again. So yeah, I was in London over the weekend, like having a nice time. And then I was booked, and I booked this months ago, so not entirely my fault. Oh, the engine's bloody fallen off again. So I'd booked ages ago that I was going to come back on the Monday morning, and then obviously the storm hit. So I got stranded in London, and it was chaos in London. I mean, I was in King's Cross trying to get my train to Scarborough, which basically got pushed back so far I decided to leave on Tuesday, and then the underground station at King's Cross got closed down, and all the different lines were being shut down, even stuff that was like underground, which I didn't really understand. Though it was really bad. So my commiserations to anyone who got trapped in the storm. I'm watching the news. It seemed like it got pretty hectic in different places, which is sad. Oh, the ship's rolling. Oh, god damn it. Try launch again. So and then obviously because I couldn't leave Monday, I was stuck in London, and I spent some more time with my family. Oh, the engine's fallen off. Spent some more time with my family, spent some more time with my girlfriend. I got to listen in on a seminar about Marxism at UCL. So I've had a pretty fun fucking weekend. What has everyone else been, what have all my lovely viewers been up to, I'm wondering? You know, what have you done over the weekend? Did the storm affect you? Like, what, you know, what happened? I obviously couldn't upload yesterday, as I would have wanted to. Oh, god damn it, I need to fix this. I couldn't upload yesterday, obviously, because I was, something like 100 miles away from my computer. So that was the main impact it had on me. I mean, a few missed lectures I can sort of catch up on, but a late upload will always be late. I'm a bit sad that I couldn't get that off. God, I've been talking for ages. You haven't even freaking left Kerbal yet. Oh yes, we have achieved orbit. Oh my god, that's awesome. And have we actually done it with some fuel left in this stage? With a lot of fuel. Wow. Okay, that's pretty damn good. Awesome. This is actually ahead of my expectations. That's always nice. God, once again, I either over-engineer or I under-engineer. This is the perils of not using MechJeb when you play Kerbal Space Program. Nah, we don't want to do that. We're too hardcore for MechJeb. I think of MechJeb as like Kerbal Space Program easy mode, if I'm honest. It's like if you can't run the numbers yourself, you turn to MechJeb. Yeah, give me a napkin and a pen anytime. That's how I do my space maths. Anything else is just a weak source. Okay, let's put a nice Mun intercept, a good one. There's a free return trajectory there. Is that the? That's in 37 seconds. I should probably, yeah. Let's just like accelerate time past that point. Node in 2 milliseconds. Okay, so. Oh, because it's like outdated now. Yeah, okay, let's add the maneuver. And let's try something like that again. Oh, overshot somewhat. So I don't know if a free return orbit is particularly useful because I'm landing on the Mun anyway, but I don't know, I just wanted to see if I could figure one out. There we go, that's nice. Got our orbit nice and ready. I'm going to point towards that vector, take SAS off and all, and then get ready to burn. In 27 minutes. So that's quite a period of time we've got to wait. I'm just going to time skip through all this. Yeah, so you probably missed it because I was ranting for a while and I'll probably have cut it out, but I just tried to figure out how long this burn would actually take, because it says 37 seconds, but that isn't accounting for a variety of things, not least of all is the fact that I'm going to have to change engines halfway through, and I've come up with a number, something like I need to burn at 1 minute out. So let's try and do that and hope that this works. Should really be a map view for this, yeah. Because at some point this engine cuts out. And then burst that, and then I need to convert to my smaller engine, and now it takes a lot longer, so yeah. I think, no, I might have overcompensated for this. Oh, you know why? I didn't take account of the fact that it was going to get a lot lighter. In fact, it's got too light because the staging is... Yeah, okay, so let's just try and hope to get a intercept of the Moon, even if it's not a particularly good one. Okay. We fucked up our maneuver a bit. That is going to vastly overshoot. I'm going to turn the other way. Yeah, let's do such things as these, as Scott Manley would say. That cracked me up. Oh god, Scott Manley. Legend of Kerbal Space Program. Let's try and slow ourselves down slightly and get a bit more of a reasonable intercept of the Mun. I don't want to crash into it as well. There we go. This is roughly the sort of you know, movement we were going for anyway. So that works. Awesome. Now, you'll notice, of course, that when you try to transfer your orbit from one body to another, you have to take account of the fact that it takes a long time for the bodies to move. So you're aiming quite far in front of what you're shooting to actually hit. In some cases, if the orbits are different enough, you could be aiming slightly behind it so that it will be taking almost an entire orbit, or even 2 orbits. You know, it could take any number of orbits before you hit your body, depending on how far out they are. So that's something to bear in mind as you'll be aiming in weird positions for bodies. It's also relatively difficult to calculate when would be like the shortest path between bodies, because obviously if you're in 2 different orbits, they're orbiting at 2 different speeds, and then the transfer between them is a different speed as well, you know, because speed is dependent almost entirely on your distance from the planet you're orbiting. So it's not too much of a problem when you're orbiting just a moon around a planet, because then the only orbit to consider is yours and the one you're moving to. But when you're orbiting, say, a planet, and you're trying to move to another planet, or from one moon to another moon, you've got to consider the orbit of the body that you're on, which is a bit different. It's more like an orbital transfer at that point. I do like the science. There's a lot of like sort of science beneath the hood on Kerbal Space Program, and that appeals to me. That appeals to the nerd in all of us, doesn't it? 1 hour. So I have 1 hour to slow myself down sufficiently that I'm no longer travelling faster than the escape velocity of the moon, which is why I'm now going to accelerate time. Well, not accelerate time, I'm going to accelerate my ship. And I'm going to do that in the retrograde direction to slow myself down until we are at an orbital speed for the moon. And I'm just going to keep doing that until we bring the apparatus quite far down, because I want to be going as slowly as possible. Let's get that to about 10,000 meters, say. Okay. Yeah, it's worth pointing out, I think previously the highest mountain on Mun in Kerbal Space Program was something like 8,000 meters, so, and I don't think it's on the equator either, so most of the time you're pretty damn safe if you just go around like 10,000 meters. That's a fine speed to orbit over the Moon, and it has no atmosphere to slow you down, obviously. So I'm obviously beginning to run a bit low on fuel in this main tank. I don't want it running out while I'm trying to land, so I'm going to pump out some more into it. Now, electric charge is at something of a premium, because this engine, the little LV909, doesn't generate electric charge when you're shooting it. Oh look, goo observation high over the moon. The goo feels at home here. How mysterious. We're going to keep that data, and we'll get some at the surface as well. So the engine doesn't produce any electricity, which means I can't waste it on using too much SAS. I can't waste it on sending data home either. I need to sort of get this to the surface and then bring it back, because I can't use electric charge to transmit stuff. You just can't do it. That's a problem, but the good thing is this engine is more efficient, only slightly, but hopefully it will make the difference today. As we await periapsis, I'm gonna, so I don't want to land on the dark side of the moon, which it currently looks like I would, aiming for that sort of periapsis. So I'm gonna warp time to whatever speed it will allow me, and let the moon get a bit more into the bright. I'll rejoin you once we've got a slightly nicer landing window, because this time warp is going to take a while. Okay, so here we are. Ideally I'd like to land like somewhere quite flat. The science, when you do a crew report, for some bloody reason recommends you land on a crater, which is just stupid as hell, because obviously they have sloped sides. So you want to land between one. Obviously the bottom of a crater is quite flat, but just like find a flat place, you know. Like, craters are not a good thing to try and land on because most of it is curved and annoying. I do like what they've done with the moon surface, as I said. It also has made it a lot more challenging to land on because it used to be sort of just like bumpy and hilly and rolly, and there are a few craters here and there. Now the whole thing is just crater, 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 and it makes it a lot more challenging. Anyway, yeah, so plan now is to reach roughly periapsis and then slow down, kill our horizontal velocity and land somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, we're not trying to make a base or anything, I don't have any target location in mind. So, let's use some time warp jiggery pokery to get us pointed in the retrograde direction, ready to land. I'm quite nervous because this has been going badly all day. Oh yeah, let's deploy the gears and all. I was designing prototypes for this earlier, and I crashed one straight into the surface of the moon before I realised I'd unlocked these landing struts I'd forgotten, and I was just using like girders and things, which is obviously far from ideal. So, we got a while before we hit the moon. Our apparatus, let me check what height it is so I don't have to keep looking at the map. It's at 9,000, so when we get to like... What the hell? Periapsis is at 9,000. According to this, we're at... Oh, right. Okay, we're at 85,000. Not... I thought we were at 9,000. That seemed weird. The reason is we weren't. There you go. Let's get to like 10,000 and then, yeah, let's slow down. And use time warpy, jiggery pokery. There we go. So, we can now begin to have a look and see roughly where we want to land. It's quite helpful that we're landing in daylight because this ship obviously has no lights on it. Don't have them unlocked yet. B, even if I did, we have, as I said, no electricity generation. So, screw it, let's start slowing down now. Thanks to the O-berth effect, it's more efficient to burn fuel at a lower altitude for various physics reasons that I might at some point do some sort of video about. I do like the sort of physics of Kerbal Space Program as a topic. So I want to kill all our horizontal velocity and ideally do it somewhere flat so that we are falling straight down. I guess this is the useful part of a surface relative speed, is that then you can judge how quickly you're slamming into the ground from different directions. That does make sense. It's just I don't see why you would want it on takeoff from curbing. That's the bit that is useless. If I'm taking off from curbing, I would prefer to have like a sense of my orbital direction and speed and things. I don't know, maybe it's just me being weird. I don't think we have killed horizontal velocity entirely there. I think we've generated some, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we generated a little. That's fine though. Trying to be as conservative as I can with... Oh no, I want to burn this way. Okay, so let's burn this way now and try and kill our horizontal velocity as best I can. So a helpful way of thinking about when you're changing velocity is that you are effectively pushing and pulling the vectors. So if you're looking at the nav ball, when you throttle up you can see the retrograde vector is pushed away from the way you're currently pointing and the prograde is pulled towards you. Give me surface relative speed, you bastards. Okay, there you go. I have enough fuel in this? Yeah, I've got plenty, hopefully. 75 meters, let's start burning a bit faster than that. 30. Oh, we're running out of fuel in that tank. That would be far from ideal. 5, 4, 3. No, don't tilt, don't tilt! No, no, this cannot happen. Oh no, I'm still going, still going. Still, yes, we're fine. SAS, torque has held it. Oh, and the torque saves the day. Wow, we did a proper flip. Wow. Okay. SS, can you hold it there? Yeah. I don't like that it's still using fuel to... It's using electricity rather to maintain this position. That isn't particularly sustainable. Can I turn it off and it not fall? I'm going to try and turn slightly this way. Okay, we're stable. Really worried for a minute there. So Jeb, you can EVA and you're gonna get some stuff for us. Oh cool, we can even land on this science thing. Awesome. Obviously you don't have oh, I'm so glad I managed to land on the moon with only like tier 2 parts. That's pretty damn cool. Ha ha ha. I mean, I know obviously like people put me to shame and they've landed on all sorts of shit using like tier 1, but for me this is pretty fun. This is pretty damn good. Jebediah Kerman, the first Kerbin on the moon. Look at that. The moonscape stretches out before him. The intrepid hero with the ridiculous smile. He is far too overjoyed about the whole situation. And because obviously the gravity is lower, yay, we can float around. Awesome. Let's head up. I want to see what's at the top of this ridge. See if there's like a nice landscape we can view. Oh, look at this. Oh, you can see for ages. That's brilliant. Now this is our first step. We have dipped our feet into the cosmic sea, and the waters seem inviting. But of course, we're here to do science, not just taking the view. So, let's, without further ado, plant our flag. Yeah. Ta-da! Kerbal Space Program. We're going to call this Genius Touchdown. Plaque text. Let's honour Jebediah for his success in this. Jebediah becomes first Kerman on the moon. So now we've got our nice flag planted. We've explored the moon a bit. Let's take a sample of the soil. Surface sample from the moon's midlands. The darker midlands appear to be made up of basaltic rocks. I haven't seen that before. Cool. So I can keep that and I can make a report. You look up and search the sky for Kerbin. Suddenly you feel very small. That's awesome. So we've got his report and we've got a sample from the surface of the moon. Let's now jet on back. Plenty of fuel left, yep. Awesome. As ever, Jeb knows how to get it done. Now obviously we don't have a ladder, so you've got to jet back in. And try not to correct the ship or anything, which yes, has happened to me more than once, and yes, is very annoying. Cool, and climb in. Awesome, there you go, and I can see surface sample from the moon's midlands stored, and the EVA report is stored. We have very little fuel left in this tank. What I am going to do is transfer in what is left from our ones that we tapped a bit earlier. And then this will now form our ascent stage. How much do we have in there? 20 fuel. That's probably enough to give us at least some clearance off the ground. So, now hopefully when I press space, these will burst and throw us upward. Oh god, this could go really badly. This could just blow up right now. Godspeed, Jeb! Oh no, it didn't blow us up. That's fine. Okay, look, and now we turn. The good thing about the moon as well is obviously there's no atmosphere, so there is no like shenanigans of gravity turning. It is literally you turn as fast as possible, and as long as you just like clear any mountains or anything, you're fine. Let's get a bit higher, having said it. As I mentioned, the moon has some tool shit. Oh god. Need to. Yeah. Okay. Let's burn like this for some time. Yeah, we've got some height now. Let's put our fuel back into our main tank before we collapse back into the surface. Oh, oh no! Stop! In. Let's get ourselves refueled. Okay, cool. Now we can drop those out of tanks, and now we're just flying straight back to Kerbin. Now, the good thing about Kerbin, obviously, is that it has an atmosphere, so you don't need to crash straight into it. You just need your periapsis somewhere in that atmosphere at a certain height, and at a certain height the thickness of the atmosphere is sufficient to slow you down enough that you are no longer in an orbital trajectory. You can be suborbital. So if you skim along it and you sort of coast in the atmosphere for a while, it will slow you down plenty through just drag. And in fact, at this point we will not be relying on engines too much. I'll just be trying to use just that atmosphere to slow me down, and my parachutes, of which I have only one, so I probably will need a bit of the engine to slow me down a little. But bleh. I digress. This will apparently only take 9 seconds. Not sure to what extent I believe that, but okay. If that's what you say, game. God knows how those nodes are like meant to calculate how much time this is going to take, because I don't think they've ever been true. They just never worked. Okay, cool. Right, so I'm going to trust it, and I'm going to start burning at like 6 or 7 seconds, because obviously that doesn't take account of the wind up. So let's call it 13 or 12 or 13 seconds and go. Yeah. Yeah, look at this shit. Now it's saying 13 seconds. That's just bullcrap. God damn it, game. This went really well. I can't stress that enough. I've been super lucky. Could even get another EVA report from Jeb at some point. He's done good work. I'm proud of him, Jeb. He normally fucks up for me, but today he's been the only one who can bloody get to the moon. I've seriously been like doing stuff off camera for hours, like just testing and testing again and again. This is the first proper attempt, really, but like you saw, the ones that got stranded were mostly just sort of having a crack with a brief idea. But it's really hard using these using like the low quality parts. I like the challenge of it. You know, you've got to think creatively, which I've always liked about Kerbal Space Program. It forces you to do something a bit different. I want to keep a look on the radar altimeter and maybe burn the engines when it hits about 500. Yeah, just because the parachutes then deploy, and obviously there we go, we're descending quite rapidly now. Yeah, the parachutes deploy at about 500, and I just want to slow down slightly so that they don't like rip off or something. It's unlikely with a craft this small and light, but it could happen. I'm also going to use a little touch of engine before we land. which is why the sunlight is quite helpful. Just a little bit of engine, because we're going slightly faster than I would like. I think we can get this down to like, we could probably get this down to a 0 meters per second. Oh, that was close. Nearly didn't turn it off in time. There you go. I won't wiggle the craft too much. Can Jeb get out and take us another sample? He can, and he can even get back in. Awesome. Take a surface sample. Kerbin's Highlands. This is dirt and grass and some small rocks. You suspect this isn't going too much of a groundbreaking discovery. Don't care. Doesn't need to be. I don't think the spacesuit was entirely necessary. Yeah, whatever, Jeb. You're fine. Let's go. Let's deposit that back in and recover and see how much science we got. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at, count all this up. So, surface sample from the Moon's Midlands, that's 120 on its own. Oh, I wish we'd used the goo, that would have been awesome. EVA report from the Midlands is 32 science. EVA report in space is 8 science. Surface sample was 9 science. The EVA from the Highlands was 2.4. 10 for the goo above Kerbin, 30 for the one above Mun, and vessel recovery is another 30. There you go. 277 science. Let's pop in and spend that. I want struts. Oh my god, they're gonna help so much. I can't even stress how much better that is gonna make every single thing. So flight control would give us our first like probe body. Science tech gets us better science. I definitely need that, don't I? Because then I can just generate more science. That's a big benefit. That is a large change. And oh, we can afford panels. That would help a lot, because then I can generate electricity without being reliant on the engines. Oh, that could be very helpful. It's the choice between getting flight control, which would let me build a probe and give me reaction wheels, both of which are actually quite helpful. And winglets would be helpful as well, because they actually have some torque to them. I could get that and advanced rocketry for the FLT 800s, or I can get electrics, which gives me a big battery and lights, which are all good things. It's got to be electrics, isn't it? Yeah. What does that now open up for us? Precision engineering, so that's small things. That'll probably be cool next. If after the next mission I can get some stuff to build probes. I'll get precision engineering and flight control, and then I can start building some probes. After that I might want advanced electrics, so I can generate more power more easily. That would also be quite helpful. I'm going to call this episode here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Lumper. This has been Scientismness fun with Kerbal Space Program. We made it to the moon, we made it back. Next time we're going to be going to Minmus and hopefully returning. I'm trying to think what else I could do that might be trying to... I might even be very bold and say we could make it... could we make it somewhere else? We're beginning to get some slightly more advanced things now. Sadly, no better engines. Yeah, it's still stuck with this crap. But yeah, okay. Let's say we're gonna at least make it to Minmus. Could even make the beginnings of a rudimentary base on Minmus. But until then, I've been Lumper. You've been the audience. You've all been very fantastic, and I hope you all have a great week. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.